What's up, everybody? Sorry about the delay. I I hit the wrong button and Streamlabs accidentally created a new event, so it's streaming to the wrong YouTube destination. But went ahead and fixed that. So yeah, so here we are. We are also live on Twitch and Facebook. I'm doing multi-stream, so we will be doing multi-streaming. I had to manually enter an RTMP URL in StreamKey to get Twitch working, but hey, for right now that works. The only thing I'm curious about is how I would bridge chat between like YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch, so it all shows up in YouTube and vice versa. Stop being a whistle. He's sitting here just whining like a little whistle behind me. Because I moved the bag of the treats he likes. So yeah, he was like, hey, my camera lens looks a little dirty. But hey Google, turn on Tim's office night mode. Wow, look at that transition. Anyways, so how's everybody doing today? If you guys, so I am going to look at the chat on Twitch. I have it popped out here. I got like literally like 3 different chat windows open. Oh, my Ask Tim stuff isn't up. Oh, because I was filming videos, which will bring us to our next topic here, which is what's sitting next to me right here, if you guys can see. We do have the under 6 enclosures done. I am waiting on extrusion. I should have them in about a week or 2. They're on the site and they will be $199, and that includes shipping in the continental US. If you're outside of the continental US, I'm sorry, but shipping is very expensive on those. You can still order them, but they will assess the shipping charges. So but yeah, they're done. I'm very happy with how it came out. I was looking for my button to open up my questions bot CSV file here. But yeah, so if we go over and look at the product page, man, I've got like 4 monitors and I am like maxed out on monitors right now with all these chat windows open. Let's see. Let's go to my website. All right. So I'm going to show you guys this because it came out fantastic. So let's switch over here. So if we go in our store here, and I did add some new stuff. So I've been a busy beaver. So I'll just show you guys what we got. So if you ever want to see what new stuff we have, if you click all products and then drop down here and do sort by latest, you can see all the new stuff we added. So I added more product listings here, so it makes it easier to select screens if you're looking for a screen for your Creality printer or your Solval. We also have Creality hot ends in here, and I also have listings here because these hot ends work with like the Solval SV01 and the Artillery AL4. So we've got that. Made product selection again like I did with the Easy Out. It's a little easier. Like you don't have to know what hot end or even what voltage. Just hey, here's a hot end for your Ender 6 or whatever. We do have, because people kept asking me to print them, I decided to just put them on the site. So we have, for a couple bucks here, these are like 50% infill, solid bed mounts for the Chiron. This is a file that is on our website for free if you go under STLs, but they have to be printed in ABS because of the heat. So these are super strong and they're only $8. So that's there. Also, if you want extra suckers for $1, you can add on an assorted 5-pack of suckers. No, you cannot tell us which ones you want. We're just going to reach in to our big box of suckers and grab 5. We also have the Blaze Cut fire suppression system, which if you have an enclosure, you can stick this in the top of it, and if a fire breaks out in the enclosure, it will just extinguish it. It's all passive, and their video is pretty cool. I think it's hilarious that they use an ANET. I am working on getting an enclosure I can sacrifice in the name of science. And I'm going to do our own demo video, but it works very well. And it only works if you have an enclosure. So just want to be clear. I will be running the Albanese and getting more gummy bears. So these sold out real quick. these are just gonna be like a little fun thing we grab. We're gonna go to Albany's every now and then, and I'll pick up a case of their little fun size bags. I don't know if anybody interested. Would anybody be interested if we grabbed, like, because I have a wholesale contact there, so I could get wholesale. Like if we carried like the little sample ones, but also the larger ones, because these are like literally my favorite gummy bears. I think it's funny that literally somebody left a review. Like, yeah, they're my favorite. But nerds, I have to see. I haven't looked to see if we can get nerds again. But yeah, so if we go to our Ender 6 section here, and again, I can sort by the latest, which should probably be the enclosure should be up here. It's been up here for a sec, but we do have these, and it came out great. Look at my fantastic photo skills. I had a bed sheet and some awesome software to get rid of the background. But yeah, it came out really great. This is actually the printer that's going to the local high school here, and they're going to be doing some higher temp materials. And then I got a video too. And then this was when I was running a print here, or like right after. Obviously, this is going to fall off because the gantry is moving. But the bed was about 10 inches away from the nozzle here, and we're sitting at over 40 degrees Celsius in the enclosure. So more than enough to print ABS. I actually did. Where is it? Benchy. I did print a 200% scale benchy, so this came off of that Ender 6 with the enclosure. This is actually KVP ABS. I bought this roll to test out, and their ABS does print really nice, so shout out to Apulo, I think is what it told me. Check it out, they're made in the US one. But yeah, really nice benchy. I can hold it a little closer. Yeah, damn good print. So ABS is no problem. Yeah, but we'll have those ready to go in about a week or two. We're not doing any like back orders or pre-orders. I also don't know if you guys noticed that I have a bunch of little square boxes with generic bulb logos on them, but the first batch of the Easy bulbs came in, and I will be selling these privately to get feedback on them. Now, I've personally been using them for about 4 or 5 months now in my own house. I've got 9 of them installed. 2 of them are behind me right there. And then there's another one over here in a freestanding light. And they've been great. So if you're looking for something that you can have Octoprint interface with, like you can use the Tasmota plugin to have it mess with the lighting if something happens. I'm using them right now just as lighting in my my home and my office and stuff, and they're very bright. They're actually 9 watts of light output, and I have a picture here. Where is it? Let me pull it up. Because this is the problem I had with the other brand of pre-flash bulbs. There's a brand on Amazon, a guy, I think his name's like Eric Kaufman or something. They're nice bulbs, but the problem is they don't fit in most fixtures that I have anyways. Like they'd fit in these lights here because it's very open, but you know, like my, you know, the nipple lights in my house, you guys know those, the little cheap nipple lights that come in, you know, the builder special, they didn't fit and in my bathroom. So these are a little bit longer than your standard bulb, but the actual width of the bulb is the same as a standard watt bulb or standard light bulb. So on the right here, this is actually a 60 watt incandescent lamp. I actually keep this around for doing power calibration. So these will actually be able to fit into a standard, like a standard light socket. And a standard size fixture without interfering with anything. So I'll have the dimensions of the bulbs and everything on there, because like I said, they are a little bit longer just because they are a smart bulb, but in terms of the diameter, which is where I've ran into issues with other brands of smart bulbs, is they don't fit in some of the more compact fixtures. So and most importantly, just like our easy plugs, these are running standard ESP8266 chips, so you can upgrade them with Tasmota. They come pre-flashed with Tasmota, so there's no tearing them apart and having to solder on programming wires and all this stuff. Literally, you can flash your own build of Tasmota if you want. Our build of Tasmota is just pre-set up to have the GPIO pin templates pre-set up, so even if you factory reset this, it'll go back to our templates and the bulb just works. So you don't have to tell it like, oh, you know, the PWM pin for green is on this pin, you know, the PWM for red, etc., etc. So, but yeah, What else? What else? What else? I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I will be doing the Ender 3 S1 live stream later tonight. I'm shooting for about 7 o'clock. I have some calls I have to make to some new potential vendors, so I got some other new things in the work, but I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to wait until it's ready to go, but I think you guys will be excited. But yeah, so around 7 o'clock, I'll be going live with the Ender 3 S1 build. And I'll probably be putting that one in my office downstairs, along with my rep box that you see sitting here just looking pretty, and my pallet too that's sitting on top of it. I'm waiting on parts for that. So yeah, let's get to this since you guys are here. So if you guys are new to the stream, I think I see somebody that is new. You need to go ahead and put an exclamation point Q in front of the chat on all platforms. So YouTube, Facebook. If you're on YouTube, our bot will reply to you. If you're on Facebook, if one of my mods can like copy and paste somebody's response into the YouTube chat, I'd appreciate that. So the bot picks it up. That's what we'll have to do as a temporary workaround until I can find a chat bot that can do multi-platform. So we're trying to get out to more viewers. We have 3 viewers on Twitch right now. Shout out to everybody on Twitch. I don't know how many we have on Facebook. So, but let's get into it. So the first question here is Madcat asking, any testers needed for the Easy ABL? No, we got all that covered, but I appreciate the offer. MPOB Bar, I see you're doing the top for the Ender 6. Any ETA? Is the build process pretty straightforward? It's actually very straightforward. I would say it's probably about a 20-minute build. It took me longer because there will be a video coming out. I have the actual build process shot. I just got to record my talking head like you're looking at right now, the intro, and then the outro. But I can show you guys a couple pictures here of what the assembly is. So basically you put together the aluminum extrusion. So it's 2020 extrusion. We're actually getting it from Misumi here. Everything's drilled and tapped, and all drilled and tapped here in the US. All the acrylic panels are all laser cut here in the US. So we're doing as much stuff in the US as we can for this. It did bring the cost up a little bit, but I'm trying to get more stuff in our shop that's made here in the US, considering most of the stuff we can only get from overseas, specifically China. So let me pull up a couple pictures here. I do have them. I tried sharing these pictures with people on our Discord server, but Discord flagged it for pornography because apparently my hands are just too damn sexy. Maybe I need to go be a hand model. I feel like that's it. So I'll just give you guys a couple sneak peeks on this. So this is just a picture showing the ends. So like this is the actual leg here. So you can see we have the holes drilled through here, and this slides over the screw coming out of the long piece that builds the frame, and you pop your little hex key through and tighten it down. It's a really clever design. My buddy Joe over at Project R3D came up with this. He uses this with his Daedalus enclosures, and it's solid. So basically you're doing this on all 4 corners. You have the little corner piece with the longer extrusion pieces. Just make sure the faces are flush, and then tighten it down. And then here's the frame. So you build the frame up. You've got basically the 4 lengths here, and then the 4 corner pieces, and then the acrylic goes on the top here. And we got these nice roll-in extrusion nuts. So they're not T-nuts. They actually roll in, and they have a spring-loaded ball bearing inside to keep them from sliding around. So you can actually move them very easily. And just literally roll them in. So you're not playing with like T-nuts on the printers where you have to put them in there and turn it quick and hope it locks in. So we got nice roll-in T-slot nuts on there, and literally everything's included. So you put the frame together, you put the panels on, and you're done. The thing I like about doing the extrusion, I'm going to be designing some mounts, especially since once I get to the high school here is actually getting my first enclosure. I am going to buy one for myself, for my Ender 6, and then I'm going to end up putting, I'm going to put a couple Easy Neos on the left and right side of the printer at a 45-degree angle, and then I'm going to mount my Easy Cam top down on the extrusion. So the nice thing is because it is extrusion, and this is how easy it lifts off. Literally, you can take it off just like this, and it's all one solid piece. So this gives you a lot of flexibility to mount things to it because it's just 2020 extrusion. So you can see it's very, very rigid. We got a little cutout here for the PTFE tube to pass through, and if you're not printing high-temp materials, you can literally just take this off and set it aside and not have to worry about things getting too hot in there for like PLA. And if you're going to print something like ABS or nylons, you literally just pick it back up and drop it back on. So yeah, it's very nice. It's very convenient. So yeah, let's see. The next question is from James. James is asking, what exactly is the Z offset measuring? I've heard of hot end to bed, or it's the Z end stop bed location. So your Z offset, when people talk about Z offset, and I can say every time I talk about Z offset, I'm referring to the process of setting a Z offset for an auto bed leveling probe, whether that's an easy ABL or a BL touch or something else. So what your Z offset is in the simplest terms is, so when you have your auto bed leveling probes, they detect the surface you're putting on, so the bed, before the nozzle touches. Okay, so obviously you don't want your nozzle hitting your bed before the sensor because then it's not going to get an accurate probe. So the Z offset tells the printer how far that distance is between the sensor trigger point and the actual 0 point on the bed. So for example, if with our easy ABLs, we have you calibrate the sensor to detect the bed when the nozzle is 2 millimeters off of the surface. So your Z offset, if everything's correctly set up, will be around -2 millimeters. So all that does is it tells the software on the printer how far do I need to move the nozzle down on the bed after the sensor triggers to get it at the correct point on the print surface. So that's really all it is. Yeah, that's it. I thought I had more, but apparently not. 3D printing by Bluebeard. I see you asking questions. You have to put the exclamation point Q in front of them. Steve, can I remove the SD card from the Ender 6 after the print starts? No, you can't. It's printing from the SD card. If you want to not print with the SD card, you would want to use something like our EasyPi, which is a pre-set up Octoprint kit. And let me check. We got literally like 20 boards in, but we did have stock on them. And even with the higher pricing, it's actually not that bad, because good luck finding Raspberry Pi boards right now. We do have some in stock still. I don't know exactly how many, but it's not showing low, so I'm assuming we have at least like 15 of them. So if you guys are looking at Octoprint kit and you can't find boards anywhere, we do have these in stock right now. These will literally ship out, and this is literally plug it in and plug your printer into it. And it's ready to go. You don't have to do anything, especially if you send us the Wi-Fi info. So this is literally a fully built kit, comes with the adapter, the SD cards pre-installed. They're all powered up and tested before we ship them, so we know they work. We also do have, I forgot to mention this, we did get a big restock on a lot of our products we were out of. So we have our Easy Cams back again, which is our 1080p cameras for Octoprint use. You can use them as webcams. I use them strictly on our printers. I think we have a couple on our print farm computers. But to give you an idea, so this is the Easy Cam, and I do have the resolution right now set to 720p, just to save on bandwidth, but it is a 1080p camera. This is literally sitting next to me here on my Ender 6, and you can see how nice wide angle the lens is, and it's manual focus, so you don't have to worry about the autofocus screwing up and messing with a fuzzy image. So we do have these, and they're in stock right now. We just got over 100 of them, so we should have stock for a little bit, but I could be wrong. Maybe people have been waiting on them for a while. So, but yeah, so if you're looking for a way to get rid of the SD cards, and you can literally just send your SD or your G code over the network, like I just pulled this up here. I'm just so used to using it. We literally use these on every single one of our printers. You can fully control and print with your printer from your computer. So I don't get up and put a G-code file on my SD card. I literally just hit upload here and upload my G-code file to the SD card, or to the SD card on the Pi, and then it handles printing from the Pi to the printer. So there's a USB cable that runs between the Raspberry Pi kit and the board itself. So, but we do have these right now. These are the 2 gig of RAM boards. Right now, just those Raspberry Pi boards are going for around 130 and up if you can find stock on them. People are buying them and price gouging. Unfortunately, I've been having to pay higher price on them, which is why, like, these kits normally were about $130, $140, but because of the silicon shortage, everything's gone up on cost, and that's not even talking about all the raw materials. Anyways, we have these in stock. So we'll have our easy plugs back in about 2 to 3 weeks if you guys are waiting on that. But you can also go ahead and send us the Wi-Fi info, so we will pre-program this specifically for your order. So when you get the Easy Pi kit, it just connects to your Wi-Fi. So, but yeah, these are in stock, and like, if you guys are thinking about get one, I'm not trying to be Mr. Salesperson here, but I have no idea when we'll be able to get more boards. So if you want one, it's best to get it now while we actually have stock, because I have no idea when we'll get more. It's been coming in more and more. So, 3D printing by Bluebeard got butthurt because he didn't follow directions. Well, bye, Felicia. Anyways, let's go ahead and jump back into the questions. All right. Sorry, I was moving things around. My window like wouldn't snap. All right, let's see. Film Factory. Does retraction or jerk and cura override Marlin firmware settings having a printing issue? Yes, it typically does. If you're using a properly set up firmware that respects those commands, meaning it will actually you do what it's told to do, yes. I think having jerk and retraction, no, unless you're using firmware retraction, which most people don't. I don't even use it. But jerk and like acceleration, absolutely. You should have all that set on your printer, not your slicer. That's my my personal opinion. I'm gonna put so I'm gonna manually, if you guys see something else come in, I'm just manually copying the questions over, and I'm entering the questions in myself because I can do that. So let's see, Johnny Tools, what's the best way to keep my X gantry from dropping? So it really depends on your machine, but in general, if you have an extrusion-based one, I like a Ender 3, the best way that's not going to cost you any money is to go over and tighten everything up and make sure it's aligned. In our print farm, we do actually use like blue Loctite on a lot of our stuff. To keep it from loosening up over time, because you got to remember the motors are generating vibration, so over time it can loosen up the screws. If you have something like an Ender 3 or Ender 3 V2 or the Voxelab Aquila X1, we do have dual Z kits that add a second mechanically driven lead screw to the right hand side, and that will lock it in. If you have a printer like a CR10 series where you've got 2 independent motors, you could DIY a setup with a closed loop belt and 2 pulleys that go over the top of the lead screws and link them together. Or what we do is we put on what are called anti-backlash nuts, and those actually they put a tiny bit of pressure on the lead screw so it doesn't just slop around. Those are also a cheap fix too. So, but with the anti-backlash nuts we carry, they fit specific machines, so make sure you check the compatibility. But the best way to do is to make sure that everything is nice and tight. And like I said, on the screws that don't have the nylon lock nuts, like on a Creality printer, the V-slot wheel bolts, they usually use nylon lock nuts. You don't want to use Loctite on those. But the ones where they attach the plate to the actual X gantry extrusion, those are good to Loctite blue. So let's see. Emerson quarter. I put a 18 millimeter or Easy ABL on my Ender 3 Pros. I have 2 others set up the same exact way. One seems to drag and has hairs on the top infill layer. E-steps and slicer full rate are calibrated. I would look in to see if you have any sort of mechanical slop in the printer, because if you have stuff that's loose, It's going to do weird stuff and cause slight drag. Every time I've had a machine where it's like dragging on infill or a top layer, I've gone back and found like there were wheels that were out of adjustment or screws, again, screws that loosened up. So yeah. Why do people keep asking? I said on the last stream, Justin, that we were a couple weeks out on the EasyABL micros. We're still 2 weeks out. We were 3 weeks last week, so we're 2 weeks out this week, hopefully. I haven't heard that they aren't getting delayed. So, Jonathan Barnes, did I see that you were sailing to the UK now? Yes, we did some experiments and shipped packages over there to some customers that we were in tight with, and yeah, it's business as usual. So they still just collect the custom fees. So we said, screw it, we're opening back up to the UK. Yay. So yeah, if you're in the UK, you can purchase from us now. We're shipping again. Excellent Flush over on Twitch said, I wonder if we'll see some mods for the under 6 enclosure. For example, a cutout for adding a new filter, a hinge system, ability to clip in lighting. So I'm going to design some stuff for lighting and stuff. And for, like I said earlier, you might have missed it. But for like the camera mounts, I could have on later revisions a cutout for an air filter. That wouldn't be that hard. It's also acrylic, so if you have a way to cut acrylic, you could also just drill out the acrylic. But that wouldn't be that hard. The thing with adding in like knockouts is like you're now adding more points of failure to the part itself. So like, you know, if you have stuff that's knocked out, or maybe we just have like options for different side panels. Like here's like a filter, one for the BOFA filter or whatever, or maybe like a DIY carbon filter or something like that. I wouldn't recommend just dumping the air out into the open because you're going to be pushing your, what's the word I'm looking for? You're pushing your heat out of there, which is not very good. So, Send Cut Send, I've heard of them. I actually have a buddy of mine in Illinois that is doing all the laser cutting on our acrylic. He does really good work and he's very anal about it. So I use him, and then my buddy Joe, who runs Project R3D, he's doing all the extrusion cutting and tapping and machining that's required to make the kits. So, is there one LED dead in the cube? No, it's my solder, or my flux, I mean. So, all right. Peter is asking, I know you postponed the release of the Dual Extrude Easy Board. Do you have any news? You might have missed it on last stream just because of all the part shortages. We are not developing any more new control boards right now until the supply chain stabilizes, because, you know, we're not companies like Big Tree Tech where they'll design a board in a couple weeks and then pump them out and they have tons of issues. We take months to work on a board, and it literally costs over $10,000 for us to develop a new board because we want to make sure they work. And I'm not even exaggerating. Between the prototypes, like some of the prototype boards, we paid $300-400 a piece to get them made because they were very small batch. And again, but I think it's shown based on the reliability and the fact that the one complaint people have about our control board is that it's more expensive than the cheap Chinese boards. And I'm okay with that. So not that they don't work, not that they don't last, it's just they're more expensive. So, but you know, you get what you pay for. So yeah, we're putting that on hold right now. I am waiting on some boards from MKS to come in, because me personally, if I'm going with a Chinese-made board, especially like a universal board, the MKS is my go-to. Big Tree Tech has been too all over the place. And like I bought an SKR2 to send to Peter, and I think he's having issues with it as well, and it's brand new, so color me shocked. All right, Ken Cunningham. Based on recommendation, I bought one of your easy mats. I print a lot of PETG. Do I need anything at all to print a PETG on an easy mat? So technically no, but I will tell you, you're probably going to want to put something down, and this goes for printing on basically any surface with PETG. The problem with PETG in general, even on bare glass, okay? This is how aggressive PETG is at bonding to things. The problem with PETG is that it likes to bond to surfaces. PETG will bond to bare glass. PETG will bond to PEI sheets, powder-coated PEI sheets, our easy mats, build tack. So if you're careful, like I'm right now printing on our textured Easy Flex with PETG, but I'm very good at keeping an eye on my first layer when it's going down so it's not too close. And there's probably Vision Miner on there. I use Vision Miner on my printers too, but I haven't reapplied it in a while. But the thing is, when you print PETG, if you're slightly too close, it is going to bond very well to whatever you're printing on. So something like the Vision Miner nanopolymer or even like some crappy hairspray will work great. Just to give it some sort of barrier between your plastic that you're extruding and the surface so it doesn't bond to the surface. So PETG is a nice filament because it does have higher heat resistance, but you got to be very careful with it. I will say, if you guys are looking at PETG, we have all of the GreenGate 3D filament in stock, or all the in-stock GreenGate 3D filament is on sale on our website right now. If you want to check that out, they got some awesome colors. I think the only color we are out on is the black, but we have quite a few different colors. So I just wanted to plug them because I was looking at them. I was like, I feel like I need to mention them more because they do make good filament, which is why we carry them. So I'll just show that off right here. Let me go ahead and switch back over. So yeah, if you guys want to pick up any of the GreenGate, oh, wrong button. That's my scope. If you want to pick up any of the GreenGate 3D stuff, we've got the Purple Rain, the Pink Grapefruit, Spearmint, Ice Blue, and the American White all in stock. And we have a couple rolls on there, but this is probably my favorite. It looks freaking awesome. But yeah, if you want to check out some PETG, that's recycled. It's awesome. And it's made in the US. So, all right. I'm jumping around. Let's go back. Albert Drew, how do we just set up jerk on the printer versus Kira? It's typically done from your LCD screen. You can also send it via G-code commands. And then if you do an M500, after sending those commands, it will save it into the printer's EEPROM. I'm looking for a printer that's not printing in here. I have a couple. So if you have like an EasyPi, there's actually a really nice plugin for Octoprint, or if you have your own Octoprint build that lets you modify those settings really easily. So I'm going to go ahead and log in, and this Octoprint instance will be a little slower. This is one of like the first Pi kits we ever sold. It's got our newer image on it, but it's a 3B, so it's kind of slow, you can see. And this has got some random webcam I bought during lockdown because all the other ones are, so it's potato quality, but it's good enough for me to get an idea. But anyway, so like if you're using our EasyPi image, if you click the little gears at the top here, you can actually see the EEPROM editor. So if you hit load, it'll actually load the EEPROM settings. You can see here when I hit that refresh, it sent an M503 to the terminal here, and then it interprets this. So if I want to set like my acceleration here, I can set all that right here. You got your maximum and your defaults. You've got your presets, your PIDs. It's got settings for dynamic drivers. You also got your jerk settings here. So let's say I want to change my E-jerk to 6. I can hit that and hit save. And if we look here, you'll see it sent the, where is it? The, here, the M205 E6 here. So M205 is how you set the jerk, and then you can see it sends an M500 automatically. So if you have Octoprint, this is a really nice plugin. So, or I can hit load and it'll load it back from there. You can also do backups here, which is nice. So like, let's say I go back to edit this, like my default is going to be 5, and I can do a backup. Can I rename these? I don't think I can rename these. But you can like play around with settings and then restore them too. So this is a really nice plugin, but you can also do this through the serial commands here with the M205. And then as soon as you send M500, it's going to store it into EEPROM. So like just to show you here. So if I load this and I send M205 E10 and I go back here and reload, you can see it changed it there. So, but I want to keep that at 5. But yeah, so you can change it through the serial commands. If you don't have an Octoprint set up like this, where you have an actual console, you can use a program like Pronterface if the printer's connected to your computer over USB. And if you have like a standard 12864 LCD, you can also do that directly on the LCD. I can actually show you that because I have this Ender 6 here that's got our LCD too. So, bulbs. Too many bulbs. So when I talk about the touchscreen LCDs being limited, these are the kind of things I'm talking about that you cannot do on them unless you have like some hacked firmware. There's some firmwares out there from like Insanity Automation that allow you to kind of have access to some of these settings, not all of them, but some of them. But this is the reason why I despise the touchscreens, is because out of the box you have no access to tweak these, and typically most of the stock Creality firmwares, they don't even support it. So here we go. So if you have like one of these style screens, especially if you run our firmware, if you go to configuration here and go to advanced settings, here's all your different settings in here. So you can go to jerk. You can literally change your jerk right from here just by rotating the knob. And then to do an M500, once you're done setting your advanced settings, you can go back out and hit store settings, and the screen will make a little beep noise, and then it stored that to EEPROM. So this is how you would change it on here. You can see there's a lot of other options in here. You don't get half of these options, or really any of them, if you have, like this Ender 6, this came with a touchscreen. You don't get access to any of this stuff. So there are some idiots that'll leave comments on the video, like the Ender 6 LCD install video. They're like, oh my god, well, why would you get rid of the color screen for this ugly one? Because it does more. This is a machine. I don't care how fancy the screen looks. I care about how much functionality I get out of it. And the reality is the touchscreens strip away control that you should have over your printer. So for newbies, the touchscreens are fine to get started, but once you start wanting to get into more advanced things and tweaking, tuning your settings, you'll quickly see how they just kind of fall on their face because they don't give you access to that stuff. So, all right. Joseph, does your buddy in Illinois take jobs? I don't know. I know he's pretty busy, but I have no idea. Me and my other buddy Joe reached out to him, and he's like, "Yeah, I got time to make panels." I was like, "Cool, let's get them done." Let's see. I appreciate it, Peter. Peter's like, "This is not a question, but reply. I know that you make premium quality stuff, so why buy your stuff? Why settle for less than the best? Oh, quit brown nosing." I love you though. Have I tried printing on Garolite G10 FR4? So I have tried printing on FR4. FR4 is usually like PCB, and it's okay. The problem is trying to get stuff that's flat is like really, really hard. But I know Garolite is very popular for people that like exclusively print nylons. I don't carry any Garolite stuff because we don't do a ton of nylon, and when we do nylon, Vision Miner on a PEI sheet works great. Kevin Jones, what's the easiest way to calibrate my Ender 5 using the Easy ABL? I've been having some issues with PLA sticking, but it's only in certain areas. Well, the first thing before you go chasing down all random things is make sure the bed is clean in that area, and make sure your Z offset is set so you get a nice squish evenly on the bed. You also might need to change your probing settings if, like, for some reason you've got a lot of warping in one area and it's away from a probe point, because the sensor reads points on the bed to get a rough idea, but sometimes you'll have beds where they have like a divot or like a slight hill or valley in one certain area, and it's outside of the area where the probe actually probes. So you got a couple of options to address that. You could either change the probe edge setting, which by default I think is 35 millimeters in from all edges on the bed, and that'll shift your probing points, or you can also add more probing points. So Hugo Q, they're just gonna collect your guys' customs fees like they have at the border. That's what happened with every single order we shipped out this year to the UK and last year. So it seems like business as usual. And that's what everybody I've talked to over there has told me as well. So, but if we have issues going forward with it, we'll cut shipping off again to the UK. But like I said, we literally sent test orders over there, and when every single one of them went through as they did before all their new VAT crap. Let me see. Todd, is a smart bulb for sale? No, they're not. So I'm selling these privately. I'm giving our Cult of TH3D members first dibs on them at a slightly discounted price. The physical bulbs are what the retail ones are going to be. I just don't have fancy boxes with our branding and everything on. They're just in generic boxes that my supplier had. Because again, I like to test stuff. So I did a small batch of them, and I'm going to send them out to people, make sure they work great in their environment. I've been using them here for about 5 or 6 months now. I honestly can't remember when I put the first one in, but I have 9 of them in service here and connected to Home Assistant. And they've been great, but I like to test stuff. So, yeah. But hopefully a couple weeks I'll get some feedback. If you guys are watching and you were talking to me on Discord last night, I'm going to ping you guys all and see how many bulbs people want. I'm taking a couple of them for myself because I have a couple more places I want to put them in. All right, I'm getting caught up on the questions here. So I'm going to go ahead, and I see there's someone from Twitch here. Oh, no. I'm manually entering him in. I got to figure out a bot that does all the stuffs. Right now, my bot just talks to YouTube. Spencer I am is asking, any future plans for cantilever style printer content like the King Ruin or Ender 2 Pro? No, we kind of do whatever is kind of like the, the popular machines at the time. So I don't really plan based on like a specific machine design. Let's see. Maybe he's asking about what's the best 32-inch silent board and screen upgrade for the CR10S with dual Z connections. I'm going to say our own board. I'm probably biased, but I really do believe our board is better than all the other ones out there. If you can swing the $120 price, you do actually get real tech support. You're not going to be dealing with a company in China that's going to blow you off for weeks. You will actually get a response in like a day or less. Business days, that's obviously, we're closed on weekends. And you also don't have to mess with complicated firmware setup with ours. We literally have a website that you tell it what you have, and it spits out a file. So there's no messing with VS Code. But in terms of the screen, your CR10S, as long as you have this style LCD, the 12864, just keep that screen, and it works. Our board works with the existing screen, no matter if you have the older version or the new one. So, and if you have any questions, we have live chat on our site from 9 a.m. Central to 5 p.m. Central. And you could also leave us a message, and it'll make a ticket for you. And my guys will be more than happy to answer any questions you have. Emerson Quarter, get in Discord and message me. I don't know if all the bulbs are spoken for yet or not, but if you are a Home Assistant user, I feel like we've talked about home automation stuff. So, also, little spoiler, I don't know if they'll be done in time for a stream later tonight, but the parts that we're printing on this printer and my Ender 6 are to convert. You guys, Oh, I think it's like Grotto or something like that. You know, IKEA has weird names, but I have these lamps in my bedroom that are like these little glass lamps, and it's a base and a top for it, and I'm going to be taking the 120-volt bulb out of there and putting an ESP in there with some NeoPixels. It's going to be fun. We're going to RGB up the bedroom. Nothing gets the ladies going like some RGB. Does your board have dual C sockets? Yes, it does. We have two Z headers. So, and if it's a CR10 and it's not, so that there's, you got to make sure, check the compatibility, because Creality likes to call the CR10 name on like multiple models. If you have like a CR10, CR10 Mini, or CR10 S4 or S5, it's a drop-in replacement. If you have a CR10 V2 or V3, it's not a drop-in replacement, or like a CR10S Pro or a CR10 Max. Like, what I'm trying to say is you reuse the CR10 model name, so make sure you have the correct model, because if you're looking for a drop-in experience, there's certain CR10 models that it isn't a drop-in replacement. It'd be more of a custom install. Lyle said, I just ordered EasyBoard. Wonder if you preload the TH30 firmware. We do not preload the firmware because there's no way for us to really account for every little variation everybody has. But since we're talking about the EasyBoard, I'm going to show off our little firmware site. It is stupid easy. So if you have any other boards that need Marlin compiled, it's a pain in the ass. But if you have our EasyBoard, either the V1 or the V2, this is a free service. You don't have to pay for this. If you're an EasyBoard customer, you can use this. So if you go to easyfirmware.th3dstudio.com, you'll go here. This is also linked on our homepage. If you go over tools, you'll see Easy Firmware. You have a couple different options. So you can edit the configuration H file on your computer and then upload it. You can literally edit it right here online on our website. And you just select which board you're compiling for, whether it's the Lite, which is the V1, or the V2. Or you can literally do a step-by-step wizard. So, you know, like, let's say, oh, I'm putting this in my Ender 3 Max, and I want to call it, you know, poop printer or whatever. I don't know. I'm 10 years old. Oh my God, Tor. Did he ban me? Did you ban my IP, Tor? Anyways, bed leveling type. So I got an easy ABL on there. I'm gonna put the OEM mount, and we got the Ender 3 Max. So I'm gonna check out my options. I want the super fast probe. I don't know. I want a 5x5 grid because I'm anal like that. Let's see. I got the easy out on there. I don't have anything modified here. We'll go next. I don't want to change anything, or you know what? You know what? I think I'm gonna put my tough extruder on here, which is a 410 step per millimeter, or 410 steps per millimeter, and I'll also need to reverse my E direction. So we'll go ahead and set that. You know, maybe I got my NeoPixels on here, so I'm using the EasyBoard V2, so I'm gonna do PA8, which is listed right here. And then we're gonna hit next and tell it I have a V2 EasyBoard, and we're gonna do. So now I'm gonna tell it I'm not a robot, and I'm gonna hit submit. So right now this is submitting this into my server. And what this is going to do is actually compile the firmware for you. So instead of having to open up VS Code and download a bunch of libraries, install Platform IO, and tell it, you know, open up the source code and all this other stuff, you just do it on our website here. And after literally about, like, I don't know, like 30 seconds or less, it will go ahead and spit out the firmware.bin file. So you can see here we're in a compiling status. The page refreshes every 5 seconds. You can also refresh it, and just like that, I now have a firmware.bin. So I can click this, put this firmware.bin file. Hang on, my head is blocking it. Put this firmware.bin file on my SD card, and that's it. Just print. And I will mention, if you see here, I downloaded 2 of them. You see how your browser appends this, like, you know, 1? There's like a bracket 1 bracket. Before you put this on the SD card, or after, make sure you rename it to firmware.bin. But yeah, it's painless. You don't have to use VS Code or even have it installed, like you could literally, if you had an SD reader on your cell phone, like a little USB one, you could literally flash your EasyBoard with your cell phone, you know, or iPad or whatever, as long as you have a way to put a file on an SD card. So we're one of the only companies that offers this for free with our boards. There's a couple of people in the community that have set up paid, like paid sites that are similar to ours. But this is completely free if you're an EasyBoard customer. So, all right. Now I do have to end this stream on time. So we got about 7 minutes left. So, I'm going to try to stick to that. So also, if you guys want to watch or listen, or if you guys want to listen to any older streams, you know, or just catch up on the streams via audio only, we do post them to all major podcast platforms within about an hour or two of posting. If I don't forget, I've forgotten a few times. So I'm just going to answer a couple of quick questions here. Someone's asking about the if we plan on making something like the CR6 style strain gauge auto level for other printers. No, they're way too complicated to retrofit, and they're just not very consistent. There's been a lot of issues with the CR6 style ones. They're a cool idea, but a lot of headaches that can go with that. Ed 101, any tips on printing a ball shape, tricks on smooth layers on the top of the dome? You're basically, your main option is going to be to lower your layer height. Certain slicers, I think most major slicers support this, like S3D, you can do a split process. You could say, you know, once you get, let's say your thing's, you know, 50 millimeters tall, you could say the last 10 millimeters, instead of a 0.2 layer height, you could do like a 0.1. There's really not a good way to smooth them out unless you're talking about post-processing, like, you know, sanding it down or putting like a filler on there or primer. There's a lot of primers out there that are thicker that do a very good job at smoothing out a print just by spraying them on there, because they'll kind of fill in the voids. You can do a couple coats. But yeah, like really only way to get a smoother top layer on like domes is if you are doing something like a lower layer height. One Superfly on Twitch asks, is it normal for the ZX steppers to be noticeably hotter than all the other steppers during a print? Normally, no. If you have any stepper motors that are warmer than others, that usually means that either one, you got something binding, so check that first, because it's putting more load on the motor. But typically it usually means that your VREF is set too high. Your VREF, is, depending on what board you have, is either going to be a physical adjustment on the board, and if you search on YouTube TH3D VREF, you should find our video showing how to manually adjust the VREF. Which you'll need a multimeter and a precision screwdriver. And then if you have a board like our EasyBoard, that's all set digitally right from the LCD screen. So you don't have to get out a multimeter and, you know, measure it and adjust it, measure and adjust it. But typically if a motor is running too hot, if I'm manually adjusting VREF on a board like the Creality boards or some of the other ones that are out there, I'll drop it down by about 0.1 volts and then see how it is. The thing you have to remember is when you're lowering voltage on, or lowering VREF on drivers, whether that be the current or voltage, is if you put too little current going to the motors, you're going to lose steps. So in general, if a stepper motor is 60 C or less, it's well within operating temperature. They are designed to run warm. You know, but if it's getting like 70, 80 plus C, then yeah, it'd be time to take a look at your VREF. And if the VREF is, you know, normal, you'd have to look up what printer you have and what a normal VREF for the driver and board is. Then you could also just have a bad motor that's, you know, maybe got an internal short and it's just running too hot. Justin Dybell, do you have coax ABS Midnight Blue and ABS Metallic Silver? We do not, but you can always order direct from Coax. Their website's Coax 3D. Is it Coax 3D? Might just be coaxllc.com. I think it's coaxllc.com. Hang on. Yeah, it's coaxllc.com. Whatever we don't have, they will carry, and they ship from the US too. Mark's asking, do we have any plans to make, other hot ends or clones or extruders in the future, BMG or anything else? So we're looking at adding more variety to our hot end setups, which my team and I were talking about today. I'm just getting a list together of what kind of stuff we want to get in so we can test it, and if it's something that we like, then adding it to the lineup. So if you guys do have any suggestions for what kind of hot ends you guys would like to see or extruders you'd like to see, go ahead and send us a message on our Contact Us page on our website. You can just go to contactus.th3dstudio.com, because our tech guys do keep a list, and if we're seeing the request for a lot of certain types of extruders or a lot of certain types of hot ends or just products in generals, we do keep an internal list here, and if we get enough requests, then we'll look into it and test them, and if they are something we would feel comfortable selling, meaning they work correctly and the pricing is good, then we do actually take that into consideration. So but we do have new stuff in the works. We're at the process right now where we got our list together. We're going to start purchasing samples and start testing things, and then if they are, again, something we think is a good product, we'll go ahead and add it to our shop. Albert is asking, have we thought about making our own printer? Yes, we have, but it's very labor intensive, and we don't have the staff to do that. We do one-off things, if for some local places like this Ender 6. This is for our local high school here. We'll take existing models and upgrade the hell out of them, and build them properly, and make sure everything works. So Mad Cat, thoughts on 3D Gloop? It's good stuff. Nothing more to say other than that. It's good stuff. I keep some literally on hand at all times. It's good stuff. The reason we don't sell it is there's hazmat stuff involved because of one of the chemicals in there, and it's a pain in the ass to ship. They're all set up to ship that, so we just buy it from them. But it is good stuff. 3D Gloop is good adhesive. So I do not use it as build plate adhesive. I prefer the Vision Miner nanopolymer. But in terms of bonding parts and smoothing, it's really good. Emerson, any chance of TH3D swag, tools, work mats, etc. in the future? Work mats are something I actually was thinking about, but if you guys do want like shirts and stuff, this hat I had made through one of our vendors that did merch years ago, so I've had this for a bit. But if you want shirts or mugs or hats, if you go to merch.th3dstudio.com, we do have a spring store that they do the fulfillment for us, and their quality is really good. And I'm not gonna take any more new questions here because we are coming up on time, and then we're gonna do our ceremonial treat for the good boy because he's been a good boy. You can see him. Look at him. He's being a good boy. He's tired today. All right, that actually worked out well. So I guess it's time for Remo's Dingo Stick. Guitar Man, oh, sorry, I will answer your question. Have we done any testing with our probe, or with probe temperature compensation? He's saying his EBL easy ABL seems to shift up a little bit if I let the probe sit overheating while for warming up. So I will talk about that because I found that the probes themselves do not, ours anyways, they don't actually change your detection distance. What is happening is more the rest of the printer is expanding and contracting, and then it throws things off. So if your mount is heating up and it's causing the sensor to go up or down, it's going to change the probing point. One way you could get around and mitigate that is to print it in a higher temp material like ABS. If you can't print ABS, we do offer pre-printed mounts in ABS and PLA. If you're putting it in Enclosure, all the printed parts have to be ABS. PETG deforms, PLA absolutely deforms, but you can also print with a higher infill so it's more rigid of a part. If there's a mount that you can't print ABS and we don't offer pre-printed, like maybe you have like a Hero Me or something like that, we do offer print services, and you can send us a request through our contact form. And I think I got to update the department because I think it still says we're not accepting print requests. We are accepting print requests. It's about a week turnaround time. At most, it really depends on how busy I am because I handle all of the print farm requests coming into our system here. So if I'm swamped, then it takes a little longer. If I'm having a little bit lighter of a work week, then I get them done pretty quick. So yeah, give him the new treat. I'm not going all the way to the house to get that, Krista. But Watch him. He sees me. Never ceases to amuse me. He's a little bit food motivated, if you can't tell. You want this? Can we shake? No. Shake. Shake. Nice to meet you. Can we touch? Sit. Speak. Woof. Good girl. Good boy. Good boy, Remo. All right. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. Emerson, send me a message on Discord. You know where to find me. Hopefully, or just shout into the void of Discord and someone will ping me. But anyways, I appreciate everybody all 3 people who watched on Twitch. Hopefully I will figure out something to get integrated. If you guys are on Discord, that's the best way to interact with me. Please don't bother me with personal tech support stuff. That all needs to go through our support team. Why can't I talk? Nothing personal. It's just on my off hours when I'm not doing this. I am a very busy person, but I will usually be in there just hanging out and BSing. If I'm working on something, sometimes I'll pop my camera on and, stream in Discord. So, but Discord is my choice of social media. I hate Facebook. So anyways, I'll talk to you guys later and check back around like 7 p.m. I got to make some calls. But I'm going to move this down, and then I'm going to get the Ender 3S1 going. So I'll get everything scheduled in a little bit here, but I got to do some business stuff. Hate that business gets in the way of doing videos and streaming. First world problems. But anyways, I appreciate everybody stop by. I hope you guys have an awesome day, and as always, happy printing.
Frank George here. As a doctor, I know a thing or two about probing. Indeed I do. I love something that's easy to install, easy to use, and backed by a real support team. And that's why I choose TH3D Easy ABL Kit for my 3D printers. I prefer not to waste countless hours trying to figure out how to connect things to my machine when I could be printing instead. With the TH3D Easy ABL, you get technical support, easy to use firmware, quality parts, amazing accuracy, and there's no moving parts. What are you waiting for? Head over to their site at easyabl.th3dstudio.com and get one today. Thanks for watching, and as always, happy printing. The Easy ABL kit is meant for 3D printer usage only, not for medical